Hello there, Sir from 17 once again, introducing you to my Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Beginner's Guide to Master Ninja Mode. This is the second section to the core, and I'm going to be running into the core and skipping that fight with a well-placed smoke grenade, or smoke bomb, sorry. So the core is one of the criminal accounts of action games and what not to do. So what this is, effectively, is a gauntlet of encounters. Each of the encounters takes place in an arena that is 7 times too small, and each of the enemies that you're being forced to attack are like 3 times too big for the arena themselves. And this is where I lose a lot of respect for this section of the game, because they could have legitimately difficult enemies and enemy groupings, and they could give you a nice open area to fight them in, so it's a fair fight and a challenging fight, but instead it's a bullshit camera, a bullshit room, and pretty much all the enemies I don't enjoy fighting. So it's a lot of ogres, it's a lot of stuff with ogres, and it's oh god, it's not easy. This is when shit gets serial. And if you've not seen the episode of South Park, I meant to say serious just then, because it's an Al Gore thing, but there you go, just ruined the joke. Super serial! But straight off the bat, the first encounter, as I get double grabbed by the crab fucking douchebag, is sliding imps and the king of the imps, that dirty bastard there. So what you want to do with these guys is, I try to get some distance from them, wait for the faster imps to come to me, and then Izuna drop them. With the essence from the Izuna drop, I use that to finish off their buddies. If you do simple combos on the black, like crab dude, it will stun him, and you can stun lock him, but you want to try and, you know, keep as much distance from him as possible. If you see him do the laser, he's going to fuck you up with it. And don't be afraid to use different weapons. The best thing about this game is each of the weapons is good in its own way, and everybody's going to have a weapon they prefer to use. So there is the first room, and as you can tell, not too bad. Just a bunch of sliding imps. Then you just have to put the idol inside the pedestal, and then you have to move onwards to the next floor. And like I say, as soon as you put that in on the pedestal, go all the way back to the save point you saw at the beginning of this video. Then come back, do the next floor. Repeat, 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 just like that. But once you've come back... Oh god, went the wrong way. What am I doing? I do that sometimes, I'm a moron, but... When you come up the stairs, you will always have to fight Ghostfish. The cool thing about it is if you use any Nimpo, or if you lost any life, you can replenish it if you get lucky. The only bad thing about this area is, if you're not good at fighting the Ghostfish, they're going to do a pretty decent amount of damage to you, and the next room is a fight, and there is no replenishments before here and there, so you really need to get good at killing the Ghostfish. But come up here, go through the door, and we will be facing the second encounter of the core gauntlet. And I would love to tell you what that encounter is, but I do not remember the fights. I just remember to bash the buttons and jump and things, and kill dudes, and, you know, arrows to the knee and all that good stuff. But here I go using some Lives of the Thousand Gods, because it's a pain in the ass when you have to use all 7 to get a buff. Right there is an interesting edit. Must have died. And these rooms do get seriously tough, so this one immediately is ogres, so I drop the smoke bomb, ogres and a crab dude, and I charge the derby. I do a quick derby on that crab dude, drop another smoke bomb, and then follow through with the ultimate technique. I use the iframes off the ultimate technique to stay alive in that fire, and I am by no means good at using smoke bombs. I just watch infinitely more gifted people on YouTube use them really well, and then I try and imitate it, and it doesn't work. So, if you have no success with the smoke bombs, don't worry, I'm the exact same. I see these masters on Ninja Gaiden that use it perfectly, and I'm just not that good, really. But the ogres will go red before they die, and they get more aggressive. So just watch out for that. But the main threat here is the damn crab, because he's so much quicker than the ogres, and he's on you all the time. And one technique you can do when you're down to just a few enemies is to use the middle pillar to put it between you and the enemy, and that will give you some breathing room. But just be super careful, because those ogres have such a wide attack radius that they'll hit you through the fucking geometry. They're bastards. They're bastards. Went into like Pirish. That's Pirate Irish, if you didn't know. But I don't like the ogres, and it's just because I don't have enough time invested fighting them, so I run away, I use ultimate techniques, and I play like a coward. And I have got a little bit more experience now, I've done more of the missions, but I still don't enjoy to fight them, because they take far too much damage, they deal far too much damage, and they're just nuisances. I'm not a fan. But just smoke bombs, derbies, UTs, smoke bombs, UTs. You can get fancy if you want to do the Lunar 360s, or if you want to do the Dragon Claws and stuff. Be careful of that. When he cries, he's going to do a jump. It's generally not that effective. It's like Metapod using Harden, but just be careful, because if he does land on you, he's going to do some serious damage. But there's the doorway opening, and now we can pick up the essence, and we can put the item on the pedestal. So here's a tick? I'm fucking losing my words. Here's a tip for more advanced players. If you want to drag the essence from the fish, from the ghost fish outside the arena, you can start every single one of these fights with an ultimate technique. So that is me, because I went back to save on that encounter because I don't like that fight at all. I had to put a little cheeky crossfade in to link that because I couldn't get it to fit well. And here I go getting raped by fish, because getting the fish off you sometimes can be ridiculously difficult to do. But as I was saying, if you kill these fish and you hold block and they're close enough to the top of this area, when you go through this room and you go into this next encounter, you can immediately charge an ultimate technique. And I think I tried to do it here, but I don't have the essence close enough. I tried to drag it and it doesn't work. So right there, oh sorry, it did work because you could see it come through the wall, but the berserker was so fast, he interrupted me. And you never want to charge an ultimate technique unless there's essence in this room, because they'll just do that stupid ground move. So this is what proves that berserkers are difficult, because there's more than one of them. And what you want to be doing here is you want to be watching the guy who you're not countering. Counter the guy, but like relax your eye and watch his friend, because whatever his friend does, you need to react. And right there, I didn't react. So there are a couple of techniques you can do. If you get stuck and you can't jump away and that fire goes below you, use your Nimpo like that, because you will be invulnerable and you'll not take damage. It'll cancel out of pretty much any maneuver and it'll make you safe, but you only have so much Nimpo, so you'll notice I'm going to go in now and replenish it, because I do not have any faith in fighting these berserkers and not getting hit by that fire. And I look through my items, as you can see. Now, what do you guys think about lowering the amount of items you can carry for difficulty? Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know if I like it or not. It's a cool concept because it makes you sound like a badass for doing it on its hardest difficulty with the least amount of items, but at the same time, I don't know, it's kind of weird. But you can see, both of these dudes are injured, and they're getting more aggressive because of it. Excuse me. So the encounter's becoming a bit more frenetic, but sometimes they can get really passive and they'll just walk, and that's what you want. As the second guy spawns in, I use his essence to kill his buddy, or to hurt his buddy should I say, and then it's just repeat. Keep on doing it. Watch out for that. I use the Nimpo on the ground again to stop it from hurting me. His buddy just died. I wait for his essence. It's generally blue off these guys, but for some reason nothing comes and I end up getting hurt by that bullshit ground attack. One thing I will say, I wish this enemy couldn't do the ground attack if they were on screen. I think that would make it more fair, but this is Ninja Gaiden and they don't give a fuck. They'll do it regardless of if you can see them. And that's one thing I always had respect for Devil May Cry with, because if the enemy's off target, off screen should I say, they're passive. They will not attack you. They have to really get close to even start initiating attacks, and I like that a lot. And similar to the environment on this, I respected God of War a lot, because a lot of people in the action game, you know, niche of really, really hardcore action game players, they don't really class God of War as that. And I think that's nonsense. I think God of War has just as much credibility as a Devil May Cry and a Ninja Gaiden, even if it is a different type of game. But like, one thing God of War always did well for me is whenever you were in an encounter, they always gave you a pretty decent environment to fight in. It was never too close. And don't get me wrong, there's probably one or two, you know, occurrences that are just, you know, escaping me right now, but for the most, when I think back to that game, I think of every challenging fight had a decent arena to do it in, and you could never ever blame the arena. Like, that there is just fucking gay. I'm using the attack button to kill the fish, and I examine the door and escape. It's just like, who thinks that's a good idea? And there's a lot of that happens in Devil May Cry 3, because when I go to do the real impact, I put my hand on a really funny posture on my pad, and I sometimes catch my D-pad. And the D-pad in Devil May Cry 3 brings up menus and stuff, so I'm in the battle, in the heat of moment, you know, life and death, and my fucking menu just pops up. So frustrating. Really gay. Funny story as well. I've been playing so much Devil May Cry that when I put Ninja Gaiden 2 on, when I finished the enemies, I kept bringing up the menu screen because I was trying to taunt with the back button. I thought that was kind of funny. But this room, anyhow, this is another tough room. This is sliding imps, berserkers, and ogres. And the main threat here is the berserker, because he does the most damage, and he's the most, you know, on your ass. The second threat is the imps, because if they slide around and they catch you, you're just going to be fodder for everybody to shit on your face. The final threat is the ogre, because as long as you can put, you know, half a room's distance between you and the ogre, he can't do too much. Get rid of the imps with Izuna drops, use the imps as essence to hit the berserker with the Darby's UT. And right there I go for the on-landing, but instead I have to evade because another imp's just turned up. That puts him into his aggressive mode, into his berserk mode. I can hear the ogre, do you see his attack go through the geometry there? That's just bullshit. But right now this is perfect because I've got him in a loop of counters, and that dude couldn't quite get us, but there's also another berserker over there, and I don't want to get too close because of the ogre, so I'm kind of just controlling the camera, controlling the fight, and letting him come to me. And right now I know that ogre's on its way. I can't quite tell what direction, so I'm a little bit tentative. And there he is, he's just off the corner, so hopefully he'll play a dumb bastard and he'll not be able to get us. It doesn't look like he's coming. Oh, there he is. And now I need to move. Now I need to get to the other side. But be careful when you dodge jump away, because if you jump at the wrong time after the dodge, you will be open to get juggled, and it happens a lot on this game. And right there, I don't know why I thought I had enough time to charge the UT, but somehow I did, and I got really lucky. But you don't want to lose this fight by getting sloppy after killing so many enemies, so just get distance and do the ultimate technique. Don't even mess about with this guy, because he's a dick. But dodge his attacks, smack him with the Derby, and down he goes. And it's not the end though, because there's a couple of the ogres, so you'll notice I was already charging the ultimate technique to try and catch this cat, but it didn't quite work, so sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Just be careful. Like, the hit detection on some of the ogre's attacks is a fucking lie in my eyes, because you dodge it perfectly, and sometimes you still take damage, and it's not because they broke your guard or anything, it's just weird. Which is a decent segue into Royal Guarding on Devil May Cry 3. I have never been somebody that used Royal Guard because, like, I just don't have good timing sometimes. There are moments where my timing's fantastic, and there are moments where my timing's atrocious. And to me, the Royal Guard style always seemed kind of suicide, but I've been playing around with it quite a lot recently, and I actually did all of Very Hard with Dante, just using Royal Guard, and I had a lot of fun. And there's a couple of fights like Beowulf and Agni and Rudra that I'm getting really good at using it, but my very good compared to some of the people that you can see on YouTube is worlds apart, because these people that fuck me, like, how do you get that good at one thing? Like, especially when its timing's so strict, because the Royal Guard, if you do not press the block button in 1/10 of the attack when it hits you, you will take residual damage because you didn't do a perfect guard. It is really fussy, and one of the ways to get around this fussiness is to do the jump guard, because the jump has iframes, and that means that you are almost guaranteed a just guard. And I do apologise if Ninja Gaiden fans are thinking, what the fuck is this you're on about, but it's on my brain, so I've got to get it out. And it's just ridiculous. If you've never seen people do it, just YouTube it, and all you need to bear in mind when you're watching it is when somebody attacks him and it looks like he puts his arm into a funny posture for a split second, that's when he's blocking, and all you have to do it is press one button, but it has to be almost the exact instant the attack hits you. So just watch these people and their timing. It's ridiculous. It's gifted, it's all it is. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the, you know, ever worsening last parts of chapter 18. You take care now.